Hello and welcome to an Unreal Engine 4 tutorial on how to make a wave survival first-person shooter similar to Call of Duty Zombies and games like that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously open Unreal Engine, and you'll see the project browser here. And we're going to need two of the blueprint, the game templates. We're going to need the first person, and we'll also need some pieces and parts from the third person template. So you're going to want to go ahead and make a copy or make a version of both. Name them whatever you would like, save them, leave all this stuff the same, that's fine. And I've already done this, so I have a wave survival first person shooter and wave survival third person shooter. So go ahead and open the first person shooter. So in this episode, we're going to cover some of the first person shooter character functions, mainly with the weapon, reloading, giving it a certain amount of ammo. We'll add a sprint as well, just some basic stuff to get started. So when it loads up, you'll see it's got this little area laid out for us. We can delete these objects if you want, or leave them in. Doesn't make too much of a difference right now. But we're going to need the first person character blueprint class. So go ahead and open that up and go down to spawn projectile. So the first thing we'll do is disconnect these nodes here, grab the events and move them off to the side. So we'll be working in this area and adding some stuff in before the projectile actually fires, some checks and some other stuff. So we'll come over to the variables. We're going to need a few. So the first one we're going to need is to check whether or not we're firing. So we'll just simply type left mouse button pressed, and leave that. We can't change the value until we compile. We don't need to compile just yet. We'll make all our variables first, and then we'll do that. So then we'll need another boolean. This one's going to check if we're reloading. It is reloading. And another one to check if we can fire. And we'll make another variable. However, this one, we're going to come over to the variable type on the right and change it to a float. And we're going to call this one a fire rate. Fire rate. So we're going to actually regulate the firing, and that'll allow us to change it if we want to add perks similar to Call of Duty, like Juggernog, double tap, I guess, to increase the fire rate. But we can all add that later pretty easily. So add another one here. We'll call this one player ammo. And since this one isn't going to be a decimal point, we can change this to an integer because we want it to be a whole number. And we'll need one more integer. Call this one max ammo. And that should be all we need. We can always make more if we need. So the first thing we'll do, take the input action fire, and we're just going to set the left mouse button pressed variable Control W will duplicate the highlighted, whatever. And we're going to set when it's pressed that it's pressed. Yep, yep. When it's not, that it's not. Pretty simple. We'll go ahead and compile. That way we can change our variables, change our floats. So fire rate we can set to 0.5 for now. Player ammo, set that to say 30, and max ammo set to the same as 30. So we'll come over to the left here where we have lots of room, and we're going to grab the event tick. The first thing we're going to need is some branches. So B, hold down B and click will make branches for you. So you don't have to go, or you can go find them the regular way. Either one works. So take the first one, attach it there. I don't think we need the third one. And the first condition we're going to check is if the left mouse button is pressed. So you can hit get, also holding down control, pulling off, we'll get one. We're just going to attach that to the condition in the branch. So now take the second branch, attach it to the first one, and this one's going to check if we're reloading. So go grab get is reloading, attach that to the condition. So now we can't fire the weapon if it's reloading. That's what we want to do. So we're going to set can fire to no, you cannot. So that's the start. We'll leave that as it is. Now we pull off the false. Actually, we're going to grab another can fire. We're going to set it. Control W. We're going to need 2 because this is where we're going to set up the fire rate. So we're going to attach one to the false, and then pull off of the first one, and we're going to need a delay. And to set the delay, we're going to grab the fire rate, we're going to get it, and attach it to the duration. And now that sets our fire rate. All we need to do is attach it to the set it to true, and now it's gonna tick on and off basically the firing. So from there, we're gonna need another branch. This whole thing is basically just a bunch of checks and conditions. And we're going to grab a integer less than or equals to. The less than is just I guess it's safety. Make sure it doesn't go less than 0. That's just a personal preference of mine. And we're going to get the player ammo, attach that to the top. No, sorry, I'm doing this all wrong. This needs to be greater than. I'm going to attach that there so that if the player ammo is greater than 0, now we can, there we go. So now we want to set the player ammo to player ammo minus 1. That way it decreases as we're firing. And then from there, you can bring that right to the montage play where it starts firing. So now we have it set up that it will fire and decrease the ammo count. Now what we need to do is make it so that it resets the player ammo once we hit 0. Otherwise, when we hit 0, it's just going to stay at 0 and we'll have no ammo left and the game won't be playable. So the first thing we're going to need is an is reloading. We're going to set that. Pull off the false of the player ammo branch, and we're going to set is reloading to true. Make some running out of room here. Alright, so set is reloading. I'm going to add a delay, and we're going to grab the, actually, we should add another variable here. We'll add a float. We'll call it reload time. That way, if we want to change that later, then we can easily. So we'll get that, stick it in the duration there, compile, and then we'll set the reload time. So let's say 2 seconds to start. So once that's completed, we want to set the player ammo to our max ammo. So we'll get that, and that will reset the player ammo to 30, or whatever you set the maximum to. And then once that's done, we want to get is reloading and set it. Set it false. So that way it knows it's done reloading. And then we can go back and it'll start to fire again. So compile, save. And let's go test this out. Actually, we'll put the input touch back just in case. Alt. Oops. Leave that there. There. Alright. Compile. Save. And we'll go into here and hit play. So now you can see we have a fire rate. A little slow, could be quicker. Now it's reloading, and we start firing again. Perfect. So, I'm just going to set this a little quicker. So yeah, so now we have a simple reload system, and now we can add a function to do it, to reload manually. So first thing we'll want to do is go into File, or Edit, sorry, and Project Settings. And in here, we're going to look for Input. And what we're going to do is we're going to add an action mapping. Call this one manual reload. And you can set it to whatever you'd like. There's gamepad. This is all like Xbox controller, gamepad stuff, motion controllers, so whatever you feel like using. You can change this all later as well and add multiple buttons for it. So I'm going to use R for reload. Makes sense, right? Alright, so we've got R for reload. We don't need to save or anything. We just exit out. So we'll come over here. Some more room, but it's still close to our reload function. Try and keep it. It's a little messy right now, but definitely take a minute or two to reorganize it and tidy it all up. It just makes it easier later. So we'll add an event. We're going to look for, type in manual reload or whatever you called your input. So now we've got it on the screen there. We're going to grab is reloading, set it. And when it's pressed, set is reloading to true. Next we'll add a delay. And grab our reload time. We're going to get that and attach it here. You could also make a manual reload time. It's a little quicker. I guess kind of. Yeah. And from there, we're going to grab player ammo. We're going to set it. So we're basically just copying what we did up top over here. The only difference is now you can press a button to reload. So we're going to get the max ammo, set that, and then set is reloading to false. So now we should be able to manually reload. Yep, hit R, reload. And you can see the fire rate is a little quicker as well. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do in this episode is going to add a sprint. And maybe an option to quit the game when we're done, because that's kind of necessary. So we're going to go into Edit, Project Settings, go back to our input, and we're going to add another action mapping. Call this one Sprint. And I like to use the shift button on the keyboard. Again, you can use whatever you would like. And while we're here, add another one. Call it quit game. And for this one, probably the escape key would be best. Doesn't really matter for in-engine, but once we build it, we'll need that quit game. That's pretty simple to set up. We'll just type in quit game, pressed, quit the game. Simple as that. So we'll go over to this blank space here, and we'll get our sprint event. And we're going to need a couple more variables. Call this one run speed, and another one for walk speed. and compile so we can edit that. And let's see, let's set the walk speed to, I don't know, 200. Oh, that's the run speed. Yeah, that's fine. We'll leave that for now. And 100. Compile, save. It's always good to compile and save at the same time. So once pressed, we're going to want to get the walk speed. And we're going to set that. Actually, hold on here. So for the sprint, we want to start with our sprint event. And we're going to need to get a reference to the character movement. So you can just click, drag that right in, and it's right there for us. So from here, we want to pull out and get the max walk speed. Nope. We want to set it though. Set max walk speed. We're going to attach that to the pressed. And we're going to set our max walk speed to our run speed. Just like that. And then when it's done, we want to can duplicate this, Control W. And then we want to set the max walk speed to our walk speed. And that's a simple sprint. Give it another shot. That's a little quick, but okay. So that's walking. Oh, that's running. Okay, this is running. So running. Now we're walking. So that's the first part of the tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and we'll see you in the next video.